Okay, no time for anything crazy because broken lobbies and great times. Welcome everybody here to Split 1 of Fox's Racing League here in Monaco. Little bit of a delay here with the start because of some craziness going on with the lobby. We had the lobby started, lobby broke, so we restart. People have to restart their PCs because things break. So yeah, but here we are. Welcome everybody. Hope you all are having a great day. We are a minute or so into qualifying, but you've missed nothing. So we're underway though. And that's the important thing, is we're here, we're ready to race here in Monaco. Of course, we're running Monaco at night because Monaco at night is beautiful. And if you saw the Split 2 race, you already know some action can happen. Things can get boring. It really depends. It's 39 laps of fun with an 18-minute qualifying session. Don't ask me how it happens because I don't know how it happens. I just know I'm here. I get to enjoy it with all of you, and we get to talk about it as it happens. Coming through here, watching JJ coming down into the first sector. Purple first sector, of course. JJ sent me an amazing Monaco time trial of a 1:0. It was somewhere in the 108s. It was insanity. It was beautiful. It was shocking. I absolutely adored it. If I can find it again, I'll share it. It's a 108.162. There's your time. And it was amazing. So if there's anyone who can put together a great Monaco lap, it's going to be him. And it's going to be beautiful. Of course, Jalajne, the Drivers' Championship, Drivers' Champion here in Split 1 of Season 4, not racing. JJ, purple middle sector here. It's beautiful. It's scary. Monaco is just such a great track. It's, of course, where I got my start with FRL, as I talked about in Split 2. I was just browsing online, and JJ kicks us off with a 109.3. But yeah, I was just browsing online one day, and I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm looking for I want to do some esports commentary. I love it. And I found on the F1 Codemasters blog, I found FRL. I joined. I looked around. I liked what I saw. So I messaged David and said, hey, I want to do some commentary for you all. He said, oh yeah, we've got a race coming up in about 12 hours. You want to commentate it? And I said, sure, 12 hours. I can totally get ready and figure out how to work OBS and do a stream in 12 hours. And 12 hours later, I did my first commentary. Pronounced half the names wrong. Of course, I called Debe Deeb the whole time. It's Debe. I've now learned a lot. But one thing that I have kept throughout all of these races now is a passion for FRL and a love for this league. And that's the most important part, is the love for the league and the enjoyment of watching these drivers just push to their limits and go through. And as we watch here, drivers going through, we'll jump on board here with John Meister, who is starting a flying lap. And as John Meister kicks it out of Saint Devoux up into Mirabeau, into Hotel Hairpin and Casino, and all of these amazing corners. Of course, we call Monaco by name, not by numbers around here, as you should as a proper F1 fan. And we watch him come through. Gorgeous Ferrari under the lights. I love this track at nighttime. And as we run through here, coming around, still beautiful through the tunnel section. He's going to come down into the Novelle chicane for the first time, and you can see how close the drivers get to the wall here. They absolutely risk everything, and you kind of have to in order to set something good up here. Kubu retiring out of the session, DNFing there, going into, it looks like Mirabeau out of Casino. And as John Meister is coming around Rascas here into the final corner, and he is going to floor it. What time is John Meister going to set in? John Meister comes across and puts in a 110.4, nearly a second off of his teammate, but a strong time nonetheless. A 109.8 was the qualifying time in Split 2. We've already seen JJ's beat that by nearly a second at the moment. We'll jump on board here with Barthez, who is coming across and about to finish his flying lap. He is going to put in a 110.6, puts himself up into P7. Of course, Puhash is out finishing his flying lap. Puhash with a 111.9 up into P11. 29 Beilu Buchik on outlaps. And Bartosz and Dormati yet to put in flying laps at the moment. Now Bartosz is on an outlap. We'll jump on board here. Buchek just now starting his flying lap. You can see him coming through Saint Devoux, and you can see the Alpine behind him staying out of his way. And as Buchek runs up the hill here into Casino and then down into Mirabeau, he is looking really strong as he comes through. Running around into the hairpin. And the hairpin is one that I always find very fun. If you're very brave and you're willing to risk your front wing, you can probably make a pass happen there. Should you do it? No. Can you do it? Yes. And it's like I've talked about over and over again with FRL. It's a matter of risk versus reward, and you can tell risk versus reward there with the wheel sitting in the middle of the Nouvelle Chicane. Somebody really risked it and got no reward out of it. Pujols puts himself up in a P9 with a 1:10.8. Jalajne now in and join. A little bit of a connection issue, I'd imagine, as we always tend to have here, because online league racing is fun. And Buchek puts in a 1:11.4. Jump on board here with Bartosz, who is coming up through Casino. We watch him come around. Bartosz, purple first sector, so really trying to bring it to Deve here at the moment as they come around the hotel hairpin and coming down into Portier. Looking really strong. JJ, though, a 1:09.1 ahead of him. So JJ wasting no time to get his speed up. King of Monaco really flexing here. Mr. Monaco Syntex in P3 with a 1:10 flat, jack up in P. Oh, Bartosz, hold it together. Oh my goodness. Holding it together, Bartosz does. Just barely. That was scary. That was enjoyable. I really got nervous there watching that. Let's jump on board here with Noda and P4 coming around swimming pools. Really risking it all. These drivers don't want to hold back. As we saw in Split 2, passing is really hard unless you're really just lucky and the person in front of you makes a big mistake here. Noda coming across the line. Noda is going to come across with a 1:09.3. Puts himself up into P2 here. 9 minutes left to go here in qualifying. Devitt out on his flying lap as he comes down into hairpin through Mirabeau. And looking really strong from him as he comes through. Slowing down, though. It looks... I don't know if he slowed down or what that was. But out on a lap, nonetheless. And he is slowing way down. So it looks like he didn't like that first lap. So he's going to do a second out lap here. And we'll jump on board with Buchek, who's coming across third sector here. See a little bit behind pace as he comes down. What time is Buchek going to set in? Buchek puts in a 1:11.3. Locks himself into P12 at the moment. It's still up there. Bartha is coming through middle sector. And Bartha is just navigating the track really well. You can see the drivers, especially in split one. Ooh, Bartha is barely saving that. And a little bit of a bump off of the wall. Looks like he got lucky there with no wing damage, though. But that lap almost compromised. We'll see what time Barthez brings it across the line at. And he is going to bring it at a 1:10.3 up into P6. Even with that wall contact. Jump on board here with 29 Bailu, who's coming through tunnels into the Nouvelle Chicane. And we'll see what 29 Bailu throws together as he comes through. Lots of Sector 3 time going to come to you today here as 29 Bailu goes around. Pujols' teammate He passes right there, so 29 Bailey will be finishing his lap as Pujols starts his flying lap here. And 29 Bailey is going to come across the line and put in a 1:11.6, so puts himself up into P14 at the moment. His teammate right behind him here, Pujols, who started his flying lap right as his teammate was finishing his flying lap. We can see 18.7 through the first sector as he comes around. You can see so slow through the hairpin, 30 miles an hour as they come around the hairpin. Going out in the Novell chicane, just cuts it really hard and clips the wall there, and that is unfortunate for Pujols, who was in for a pretty good lap. We'll jump on board here. Mr. Monaco has invalidated his lap. So, and then we'll jump here. Maddie, who is out. I believe Maddie is on an in lap from what it looks like. Nope, Maddie is actually out on a second flyer here, it looks like. As he goes around, Maddie puts in a 1:11.5, gets himself to P14 still. Some of the drivers opting to run multiple push laps through just to see how their cars can handle it and just get a little bit of a feel and try to get a little bit more time out of that second lap. Looks like we've had a bit of a coming together up here in the Mirabeau section. I thought I saw a couple of cars right there parked out. I see a Red Bull there of Maddie, but it looks like there were multiple cars in the way there. As Syntex is coming down the tunnel, he is going to want this AlphaTauri to get out of his way. And the AlphaTauri does yield. And Syntex, as he comes through into swimming pool section, finishing up his middle sector. Not purple, actually down a little bit through the middle sector. And as he comes through last sector, he's going to come around here through Rascas. You can see the car sliding. He's fighting to get the compliance out of it into the turn, and Syntex coming down the main straight. Syntex is going to come across, and he is going to throw in a 1:10.1, so down actually on his fastest time, trying to put together a good lap here. Radislav Kepa is coming through at the moment. Of course, Kepa having that heartbreak in the split 2 race, was on for a very, very good finish, even a podium, and then a little bit of a mistake came out there on some very old medium tires, and unfortunately for him, it cost him a very, very good finish. As he comes across here, Kepa is going to be in front of his teammate Bartosz as we go through the Novell chicane, coming around. 3.5 minutes left to go here in qualifying. Kepa, purple middle sector, flexing his pace a little bit here in split 1 as he knows he can. And you can see again, car sliding a little bit there into Rascas. You have to fight for the compliance through it. And then coming across here, 1:10.3. So Kepa's still P6, but great middle sector pace, purple middle sector. So Kepa is going to be the one to watch out for here as we go through. Jack invalidating his current push lap. Syntex on another push lap at the moment, a tenth of the second up. P4 for him. Tazo here in P5. Waiting on his teammate Zalajne into the pits. Zalajne with a 1:10.4. So time's very, very close and competitive here for Monaco here in split 1. We saw a few seconds the gap between the drivers, and we can see right now the gap is less than 2 seconds across the entire field. We'll jump on board here with Jack, who's getting ready to start a flying lap here. What will possibly and probably be his final flying lap here of the qualifying session as he comes around. Saint Devoux, very clean corner. Jack, a very fast driver. So as Jack runs up the hill here, and I believe he's got JJ right behind him here, on final laps as they go down and around. Going into Mirabeau, into the hairpin. Really, really, really good look here. And you can see Jack taking it wide, going through. Coming down into Portier, into the tunnel. Minute 40 here in qualifying left as they go through. You can see a Red Bull up ahead going very slow, getting ready for a final push lap. And Jack pushing it as hard as he can through the chicane. Jack really, really trying, and he hits the wall there in swimming pool, so that is going to be over for him. In front of him, he's got JJ, so Jack actually DNFing there in the swimming pool section. So JJ bringing it around here, final corner, flooring it out. He's very, very close, behind actually 2 seconds from his top time. But for JJ, Jack is going to be out here, and now Noda's going to be coming around here through the tunnel section. Noda on a very, very good flying lap. And as Noda comes around, Noda's purple middle sector. So Noda could be challenging JJ here for the top step of the top grid spot. There we go. 30 seconds left to go here in qualifying. So this lap is for all the marbles here from Noda, and Noda is going to come across with a 109.13. So Noda is going to knock JJ off of provisional pole here by 3/100ths of a second. We can see here Tazo coming around. Tazo, we know, has very, very strong pace. Buchek retiring. So right here at the very end, you can see all the drivers really, really pushing, trying to put all of their pace into this qualifying session. And for some of these drivers, it is going to cost them big time. But Tazo, a Mercedes driver, we know Mercedes have ultimate pace all the way around. Purple first sector for Tazo, so it looks like Tazo might have reserved everything to the very end. Checkered flag is fell. Jalajne is going to be locked into P10. Debe locked in. Puhash locked in. Maddie locked in. JJ can't improve. JJ's locked in. Syntex, John Meister locked in. But Tazo, who was purple through the first sector, coming around through the tunnel now, looking really, really strong as he comes through, diving down into the Novell chicane. You can see just how close he's cutting the chicane there as he comes out right against the wall, riding through. And we'll see here how the sector times lie as he comes around into swimming pools. He's 3/100ths up through the middle sector. Not purple, but up just enough. Dormati retiring out of the session now. Dormati spinning. And as we go through here, Tazo is going to hold on to it very hard. Tazo coming around, final corner, a little bit loosened. Is that going to cost him his chance at pole position? It is going to cost him, but how badly? P4 with a 109.8. That little slide there at the end potentially costing him large gaps of time. Radoslav Kepa, last driver to pit in, and for Kepa, that is going to mean that this is qualifying session over and Noda into the pits. So Noda pulling it out at the very end by 3/100ths. JJ into P2. Tazo there. P4 was on a great flyer and a little bit of a slide in the final corner, costing him. So, qualifying extremely challenging for these drivers, and everything extremely close. Great to watch here. Very, very tight racing about to come our way here in just a moment. And it looks like Noda is going to be your winner of this Portuguese Grand Prix. Is your champion. JJ splits the middle, gets past both drivers. I had to fit that in somewhere, honestly. I didn't get it in before qualifying, so I had to fit that in before the race. And here we are, we're going to line up for the formation lap now and for our setup. Oh, AWS isn't delaying with the pit stop strategy this week. One stop possible, soft to mediums, or soft to hards. I don't know why it says you pit at the same time either way, but interesting nonetheless. Looking at tire strategy, very, very mixed up compared to what we saw in Split 2. Top 10 all on softs. And then with the exception of Pujols, everyone else is on mediums. So very, very interesting split strategy coming out here from the drivers. And it should be really, really fun to kind of see how they play that split strategy. Of course, a two-stop is possible here. Not necessarily the fastest way to go, but a two-stop can play beneficial for your tire strategy and for allowing you to push a little bit harder. Monaco is a track where it's very, very hard to pass, so you have to make some bold risk and have great strategy in order for things to really work out here. We can see how much the field is already spreading out as the drivers go through. Noda is all the way down into Rascasse, but then Barthez is just now coming through the Nouvelle Chicane. So the drivers really, really spread out here as they go through, and I have a feeling the race is going to be the same way. Of course, the rule was set up front, no heroics into Saint Devoux. That's the most popular Monaco quote, and something tells me Saint Devoux heroics are going to be aplenty as we watch turn 1. So as the drivers line up here, waiting on the final driver of Chapa to hit the grid. It looks like Chapa is in line here and lining up. Penultimate round here. Jalajne already has the Drivers' Championship underway, but there are still tons of points out there to play for. And as the drivers are lined up, it is going to be 5 red lights for the penultimate round. And we are underway here, and you can see JJ gets away really well. Noda gets away well there. You can see Tazo and Jack fighting it out. Lots of carnage here in the midfield. We're 3 wide going through, and it looks like things go through. Bits of carbon fiber out everywhere. I can't tell who that came from, but as they run up the hill for the first time, things are kind of smoothing out in the front of the field, but the middle of the field is where the action's really at right now. As we can see Kepa and Bartosz battling it out there. Buchik spinning, and Buchik dropping way back there into P17 now, missing his front wing completely. So that's possibly where our bits of carbon fiber came from. And as they run down through the hairpin for the first time, another front wing dropping off. That's the front wing of Chapa we see. So through the tunnel we come here. JJ, Noda, Jack, Tazo, Syntex going down into the Nouvelle Chicane for the first time. We can see a massive lockup happen from somebody there into the Nouvelle Chicane, but it looks like holding on there, and that is Debe, who's having to dive out of the way of Kubu there out of the Nouvelle Chicane. So Debe taking a penalty for corner cutting, not even through the first lap. Chapa retiring already through the swimming pool section. Everything relaxing out a bit. Almost. We didn't make it through the first lap without losing a car, but we've made it through the first lap nonetheless, as things are continuing to tighten up here through the first corner and the first corner of the second lap. Things are continuing to relax, and a lot of the back drivers going into the pits now. Barthez, Pujols, Dormati, Kubu, and Buchik all into the pits now, having to replace their tires. Everybody on the mediums except for Kubu, who's going to go on to softs. Everybody replacing tires. I'm guessing everybody replacing front wings as well. And that is a massive spin there from the Ferrari of John Meister in the Mirabeau out of Casino. I didn't see what happened there, but he absolutely lost it. and that is going to be unfortunate. That means he is going to be pitting in. He'll be going on hards and going on to the long game, I would imagine. As we run through the tunnel here, watching 29 Bailu, who is trying to chase down Syntex, who's chasing down Tazo, who's chasing down Jack, then Noda, then JJ. All of the grid staying very, very bunched up, except for the back group, who had to pit due to damage. And I would imagine the next car to pit due to damage is going to be John Meister. John Meister having to nurse his car all the way back around here and getting past left, right, and center. No front wing. Lots of issues to deal with there for him. Things 2 laps in, massive lockup from Syntex and 29 Bailu as we come around here through Rascas. Keeping things out of the wall, though, and you can see Noda with a little bit better pace here than JJ. JJ had a fastest lap. Noda took it right away as soon as he crossed the line behind him, so Noda really trying to chase down JJ. DRS is going to be enabled for this lap, so 36 laps left to go here as we go through. It's going to be a long, grueling race. The drivers are really going to have to watch and be consistent and be clean the whole way through, which is easier said than done when you're on a street circuit like Monaco. John Meister finally making his way into the pits, and Puhash into the pits again. Unfortunate for the Alfa Romeo driver there having to go into the pits, but for the top 10 it's been fairly clean. Another lap here and another run of watching Noda trying to chase down JJ. Fairly close at the moment. We're going to jump back, though, into P9. Zalajne trying to chase down Bartosz, who is right behind his teammate Kepa as they run up the hill. And Zalajne forgot his helmet in the pit lane. Very unfortunate for him. That could be dangerous if he wrecks. Hopefully he doesn't here as we go through Kepa and Bartosz, and you can see Zalajne still trying to get the pass done. He thought about it there for just a second going into Mirabeau, but not close enough in order to get a pass. And as we run through tunnels here, you can see Zalajne just watching the cars in front of him, waiting on some sort of an error. It is, of course, teammates in front of him, so I would imagine that Bartosz is trying to help Kepa a little bit and hold things back as much as he can. Syntex, of course, half a second behind Zalajne's teammate Tazo as well as they get the run down into Rascas, trying as hard as he can to get a pass done. If they don't get the passes done early, it's going to be very hard to get the passes done at all. As they come down, pit boards out, having to avoid those, but hold as close to the wall as you can. And as we go through another lap of drivers holding their positions, another lap of everything settling down, which is a really good thing to watch here, but we're going to jump back. Noda, half a second off of JJ, so JJ continuing to feel pressure, but King of Monaco unannounced. He is going to have some immense pace, and he's going to kind of just sit back and enjoy this race. He's out in the lead. He finds himself exactly where he wants to be, and he's going to just kind of sit down and enjoy it. John Meister retiring out of the session, wrecking in the swimming pool section. And you can see swimming pool section is just not going to be kind to people today as we go through here and as we continue to watch this race unfold. Lap 5 of 39 as we come through. JJ coming through the swimming pool section now. He's going to see a stricken teammate, and that's going to be a reminder to JJ that he needs to hold on to this race and not make any errors as they go down and around here. Syntex on Tazo on Jack is a great battle that we're going to keep our eyes on as well, along with Zalajne on Radoslav Kepa, who it looks like has already gotten past Bartosz. JJ getting a little bit loose there. Noda going to try to take advantage of it, but Noda just a little too far back, half a second the gap as they run here uphill again going towards Casino for the 6th time. And it looks like Zalajne here trying to chase down Kepa as they go up the hill. Bartosz now into the pits. Another run around here. You can see Zalajne really trying to chase down Kepa. The gap a second now almost 1 second. We'll see if that gap can close up as we run through and go through. Noda now 1.2 seconds behind JJ. So gap's really starting to open up as we run through here, but you can see Jalajne really tight on the brakes here coming through the middle sector in the Novell chicane. So for Jalajne, he's really able to close that gap up, and we'll see if he's able to keep that gap closed coming through swimming pools. And that is going to be Kepa into the wall, just missing his breaking point there, it looks like. And so for Jalajne, that is going to open him up and allow Jalajne just to take off running. Kepa just making an unforced error there, and straight into the pits he has to go to replace his front wing. Tazo only a few tenths back here off of Jack, really trying to push and really trying to close this up. You can see this battle here for third is a 4-car battle, 1 error from Jack, and that is going to be all she wrote. And as we run into the tunnel here, is Tazo going to think about making a move on Jack into the chicane? He's not. He thought about a late break, but did not do it. And as we watch the drivers run through here, you can see just how aggressive Tazo is being, trying to chase down Jack as they run through. Into Rascas, we can watch all 4 of these cars go around. Look at how close Syntex is to Tazo, though. Syntex might, if he can get this final exit right, Syntex might be in a position to have a run here. Jack into the pit, so it is going to be a run that Syntex is going to want. And Syntex right behind here, not close enough for the run into St. Devoux, but is he close enough for the run up the hill? So nice to watch these cars drive at night. And as the drivers are coming through here, lap 8 of 39. Things are starting to space out a little bit here. I'll tell you one thing that's not spacing out. The run Noda is trying to get here on Debe as they go through into the hairpin again. And you can see Noda just ramping off the curb. Really trying to get this pass done here on Debe as they go around. Debe with what I thought was going to be a strong exit through the tunnel. It wasn't strong enough here. Debe's going to have the inside. Noda's got the outside. Debe's going to try to squeeze him as they go through. And Noda's going to be on the inside for the chicane. And Debe's going to back out of it. So Noda getting the pass done through the chicane here. And Noda finding his way back up into P6. Monaco's not a passing track, but if you do it just right, you can really get a pass done. Syntex still trying to get the run here on Tazo. Tazo, if he would have a bad exit through St. Devoux, Syntex could really try to get the run done. But Tazo, a driver of consistency as we've seen throughout every race here in FRL. Ramadi onto a set of wet tires. I don't know what that's about. We're gonna imagine that's an error. This isn't ACC sightseeing qualifying laps. This is. Did anybody tell Ramadi that this is actually the race? Because I'm kind of worried about him now. No, he is coming out on the track on wet tires. Interesting. Not the choice I would make on a dry night race, but sure, let's go with it. And we're going to jump back up here, though. Tazo into the, or 29 Belu and Tazo both into the pits right now. We'll see how Dormati holds it together here in just a moment. Jalajne up into P3 now. Noda with the fastest lap at a 1:11.5. Jalajne in P3 chasing down Syntex now, who is in P2. You can see here at the moment, Jalajne half a second back on Syntax here as they go into the Novell chicane here. Lap 10 now, so 10 times through the chicane. 29 left to go. And Puhash now retiring out, coming through the Novell chicane. Unfortunate for him as he went through, but it looks like Dormati finally in the pits. Jalajne drifting it out of Rascas, but able to hold on, but losing out on how close he was there to Syntax. Still getting DRS though, so Dormati finally into the pits onto a set of softs. I think that was what he was trying to do to begin with, and he probably just put the wrong tire on accident. As we watch though here, lap 11, Debe now into the pits here, and that is going to drop him pretty far back as the gaps are really, really close here. And you can see at the moment who was that Maddie losing 2 positions here, as you have Barthez and Bartosz coming together into St. Devoux. No heroics, and heroics aplenty, so that is massive. And both drivers are lucky they did not DNF there. That was an unfortunate wreck there. That was scary. But thankfully the driver's able to hold on to it there, and no major DNFs occurring. But how they didn't DNF is completely beyond me. We're going to jump on board with JJ here for just a minute and watch. JJ taking a corner cutting penalty there through turn 1. We'll watch here 29 Bailu and Jack battling it out here, and 29 Bailu getting the advantage through swimming pool. So 29 Bailu now up into P6. lap 16, and Gelajne and Tazo are in the lead. That's a very common occurrence here in FRL Split 1. JJ DNFing, unfortunately, here at his favorite track. He's been grinding time trials all week, and unfortunately, it looks like he's DNF'd out. Watching here, Syntex trying to chase down 29 Bailu here, lap 16 of 39, nearing the halfway point of this race as they try to chase each other down. And we're going to watch, too, the battle here with Kepa trying to chase down Maddie, and it looks like Maddie going wide there. So that pass has gone out and is good. And as we watch here, Kepa now has a 14-second gap that he needs to make up on Noda, and I'm sure he can do it here. We're going to jump back, though, and watch this battle between Syntex and 29 Bailu. Less than half a second the gap there. Onto a set of intermediate tires. I don't understand why. Has anyone told Kubu that it's a dry track? I am very confused as to what the game plan is here for some of these drivers. But it's interesting nonetheless why they would do that. I mean, it almost doesn't look like he's struggling as part of it, too, is what's really weird as he comes down through the hairpin into Portier. I'm very confused here. Can anyone explain to me why he's on intermediates on a dry track? And there is the spin that I knew was coming from Kubu. And as we go through here, we're going to jump back with Syntex, who's only 0.3 of a second back on 29 Bailu again. And a little bit of a lock up there from 29 Bailu, but able to keep it out of the wall, keep anything crazy from happening here. And we can watch Syntex, who's on his 5-lap old mediums, trying to chase down 29 Bailu. Gap is half a second still, and it's holding steady. And it looks like the first sector is where Syntex is losing his time on 29 Bailu. As you can see, before they even get to the hairpin, the gap's up from half a second to just over a second. And a little bit of a slide there from Syntex, but Syntex really strong through the middle sector, it appears. So Syntex could be able to make up some time here. We'll jump on board with Jack, who is only a couple of tenths of a second back here on Kepa, and he is very, very close to a point where he could make a pass in a very unconventional spot, such as Portier going into the tunnel or down into the Nobel chicane. But as we see here, Kepa gets a little bit better of an exit into the tunnel, so Jack gonna still try to chase him down here. Not close enough for a dive into the Nobel chicane, so they're going to continue along this position of P5, P6 for another lap, it appears. They come down the main straight here. Jack does have DRS open. Is he close enough for a dive into St. Devoux? He's not. $19 laps to go here in Monaco. For the most part, things have really settled down through this race. Everyone's calmed down. There's not a lot going on. It's really, really hard to tell if any passes are going to be made or what's going on. Syntex now onto Ascent Intermediates. I'm very confused as to why Syntex is onto intermediate tires. If I've missed something, if this is some sort of a meme, like what is happening here that I have missed? I really need to see why he's on intermediates and understand exactly what's happening, because I don't understand it in the least bit. It's such a weird decision to go onto a set of intermediates, and I'm really hoping that it's not actually raining and that this is just some sort of a joke. Like, why are we... The drivers have to be pranking me, right? That has to be what's going on. As we watch here, Jack is still trying to chase down Kepa. And 29 Bailu has a fairly good run here on Tazo as we come around. And as we go up the hill, he's still got a really good run on Tazo. But still not close enough for the pass. So for another lap, they're going to hold positions. On board Jack here. Jack comes into Casino and then going down into Mirabeau into the hotel hairpin. And now Jack has another problem to deal with. He's trying to get past Kepa, but he's also got Noda right behind him who wants to get a pass done. So he's got a very, very big issue if he does not get this pass done soon. And the drivers are on inners because it's actually raining. What do you know? Wasn't expecting that. Okay, so that is why the drivers went on to intermediates, because it's now raining. It's now a wet night race here at Monaco. So we'll see how long the drivers stay out in these conditions and when they decide to pit. And it looks like everybody is into the pits all at once. And there's the spray coming off, and it is going to be wet. And if you're somebody like Syntex, you're going to be very happy you pit when you did. Except for if you're Syntex, you're not going to be happy at all, because now you have no front wing, and you're very lucky you didn't DNF. We'll see here between Jack, Noda, and Kepa who comes out on top here. And it looks like Jack is going to bring them back out. A little bit better of a pit stop, it appears, there from Kepa and Noda. So Jack, with a little bit of a luck in the pit lane, is up through. And then Noda trying to get the pass done here on Kepa coming through. Not able to get the pass done yet. I wonder if the rain's going to get heavy or if it's going to hold where it's at. This penultimate round here of Season 4 is really shaping up to be a fun one. Now your leaders are coming in here and getting onto the tires. Mercedes double stacking here. So Mercedes going to fall back a bit. 29 Bailu now past Tazo. And it looks like that is going to be Debe coming out right behind them there. Bartosz with a little bit of an alternate strategy, opting to go directly onto wet. So I wonder if he knows something the rest of the drivers don't. It does look like it's raining pretty heavily, but it is a toss-up if it's intermediate or wet conditions. And now Kubu is retired out of the session, DNFing there in, it looks like, the start. We'll watch here and see how Bartosz works on these wet tires. Lots of sliding going up the hill towards Casino, but looks like overall he is in a somewhat decent spot. We're going to jump here with Noda. Noda is only a tenth of a second back on Matty, and a little bit of wing contact there on the rear wheel. Noda trying to get past Kepa. I think I said Matty before, it's actually Kepa, and you can see Noda a little bit better in the wet weather here, and Kepa a little bit inconsistent. So it looks like at the moment, Noda putting immense amounts of pressure here on Kepa, possibly going for a pass. It's going to be really scary to see. Rain lights are on now, so this is a wet track. You see, even on the intermediates, there's a little bit of slipping and sliding going on here from Noda. Noda just a little too hard in the throttle, and now Noda's spinning out there into Portier. Back going underway, but unfortunate for Noda, that is going to throw away so much track position for him as they get going and through. We're going to watch back here with Matty trying to chase down Barthez, only about a second the gap here. So this is really where we're going to start seeing the driver's pace come into play. Those who are good in the wet weather are going to be extremely good here. Monaco is a true driver's track. Coming around here, starting lap 25 of 39, and Noda into the pits after that incident there, losing his front wing. You can see coming out of the pits right now is Bartosz, and Bartosz still slipping and sliding there in the background. So Bartosz was trying to go for the wet tires, realized it wasn't the right call, now losing immense track time, having to pit in and change back through. Checking in here with Zelazny, coming up the hill into Casino towards Mirabeau. Just no issues. No issues at all here for Zelazny. It's really a race of consistency for him. He's already won the championship, so everything at this point is just showboating really for him, and him just enjoying his time here in Split 1 and just running with it. And watching Zelazny come through the swimming pool section, it really is a swimming pool section at this point. And there's Noda DNFing out. I'm not sure where, but Noda now DNFing from the session. So, lap 26 of 39, and we've got another driver out. You see just how much traction and pace Zelazny has. Just absolutely no issues coming out of him. Some of the cleanest driving you could ask for just watching him go through. We're going to jump on here and watch just on board as he comes through tunnel. Again, just clean. You can hear some lockups actually starting to occur there here in the wet conditions, but for Jalajne, it's not an issue at all. And you can see 29 Belu, though, 1.3 seconds back, but Jalajne's pure pace is really starting to show at the moment. $11 laps to go here, and the rain has really neutralized this race at the moment. Nothing crazy happening. Syntax into the pits, going onto a fresh set of intermediates, and 29 Belu trying to chase down Jalajne. Jalajne holding the gap there at just over a second. So things really, really relaxed out as we go through. You see some lap traffic situations here occurring. So it looks like some drivers are going multiple laps down at this point. Deva, Buchik, Syntex, Dormati, and Bartosz all are at least a lap down, if not more. Matty is on pace to be lapped. Barthez is on pace to be lapped here. And as they come through the Novell chicane again for the 29th time here, 10 laps left to go, and so far Jalajne very, very clean going through. 29 Belu is closing the gap, though. Gap now down to 0.4 of a second. And 29 Belu, now the gap down 0.2 of a second. So 29 Belu really thinking about trying to make a move here as they go down the main straight. Jalajne, a little bit of slip and slide, but same for 29 Belu. Is he going to try and move down into St. Devoux? He's close enough to. He's going to look up the inside, not close enough to really stick his nose on the inside, though. And for 29 Belu, a little bit loose going on the run up the hill towards Casino. So for 29 Belu, it's another lap here in second place, but for a split second, he could really smell the taste of the top step of the podium. Coming around here, and you can see 29 Belu significantly closer now than he had been the past several laps, and the gap for everyone else is just spread out. 24 seconds between Tazo and Jack, 17 between Jack and Kepa. Barthez, there's a 28-second gap. So things have really just relaxed through since this rain came out, and it's just neutralized everything. So this is the only on-track action we really have at the moment. And this is the penultimate round of the season. So if you're asking about next season, I have no info for you yet. No info has been announced by admin here at FRL, but I'm sure it's coming soon. And when it does, trust me, you'll be the first to know. Lap 31, and you can see 29 Bailu still trying to have the run up the hill here on Jalajne. Half a second still the gap. Now it's down to 7/10 of a second, continuing to fluctuate as we go. And you can see a little bit of a drift there by 29 Bailu going into Mirabeau. But holding on to it there, now you can see the gap closing again, as it looks like Jalajne, some of this track is not going to his favor. Especially here in the wet, he seems like he's not enjoying this track as much as he normally would. Bartosz now DNFing out of the session. Only 11 drivers left here to get through the final 8 laps. Nouvelle chicane here for Jalajne, Tazo, and 29 Bailu. Tazo now 1.5 seconds off of 29 Bailu and continuing to catch up as we watch. So that fight could develop very strong near the end of the race. As the drivers run up the hill again, just a few times left to watch. Oh, and there's some contact between Jalajne and 29 Bailu. I have no idea what that was from, but that's some contact that gives me a little bit of a flashback to Split 2 last week. And now Tazo is right on the back end of 29 Bailu. Is there wing damage for the Alfa Romeo driver? Luckily for him, there is not, but now he is in a bit of a predicament there with Tazo, Jalajne's teammate, right behind him, and you know Jalajne is gonna try to help his teammate get past. Tazo going a little bit deep there into the Nouvelle chicane. And 29 Bailu is going to have to dive into the pits. I believe he actually did get wing damage there. So that's now going to release Jalajne and Tazo to go ahead with their runs and bring it home to the finish line. And now 29 Bailu is going to come out here in P4 just behind Jack. Jack now sitting on the podium paying places. Bailu trying to have the run down here. And almost having the run in through the hairpin. Now he's going to go into Portier. And still right behind there. A little bit of a slide as you can see, but still keeping it together there. And now you have Jack in front of him trying to hold on. Jack in a very good position. Rain coming down harder now. Lock up there from 29 Bailu. Feel like the rain is coming down significantly harder than it was. It might be a case of, do these drivers risk it out on intermediates, or are they going to have to pit for a set of wet tires at this point? And that could be an interesting gamble depending on which way they want to go. Jump on board with Debe here as they come around here. Debe getting lapped by the Mercedes drivers, but just 3/10 of a second behind Maddie here. So still battling it out, even though they had to let the leaders through. Up here with Tazo. Tazo only a couple of tenths back from his teammate here. He's got Maddie and Debe behind him battling, and he is only a couple of tenths off of his teammate. So I wonder if they will go for a pass here or if they are going to hold position at the moment. Of course, Jalajne already has the championship win, so it doesn't make a difference. And there's Syntex DNFing out of the session here. Started with 18 cars, only 10 cars left with 4 laps to go. And there's the duel coming in from the Mercedes teammates. You can see Tazo really thinking about getting a switch up on Jalajne and not able to get the switchback done. So Tazo finally getting aggressive with 4 laps to go on his teammate and really trying to get the pass out of the way. You can see Tazo really wiggling there into the tunnel, and you can see a lock up there. He's going to tap the back of his teammate just a little bit as they come through the Novell chicane. 4 laps to go here, and that was very, very close. Almost taking each other out there on lap 35 of 39. And again, Debe right behind them is only a couple of tenths off of Maddie. Both the drivers they already passed. You can see here, Tazo really wants to try to get a pass done. Buchek DNFing out, it looks like, in the tunnel. So now we're down to 9 drivers left to finish the race with only 4 laps to go. And there goes the pass there on Tazo and Jalajne. And Tazo now up in the lead. I can't tell if that was orchestrated or if they were actually battling, but either way, it was exciting for a second there. So Tazo up into the lead here with 3 laps to go. Tazo, of course, fighting for P2 here in the Drivers' Championship against Jack. So that is going to give him a little bit more comfort against Jack. Jack, of course, in P3 trying to fight Tazo for P2 in the Drivers' Championship. And as we watch Tazo coming around here, about to start lap 37, so 2 laps to go at this point. Going to come around here. Tazo in a very, very good spot. His teammate now dropping to 2.5 seconds behind. So things really, really loosening up here. Unless your name is Maddie and you've got Debe in the McLaren right behind you trying to get past you here. And it looks like Maddie with a bit of an unforced error losing his front wing. So for Maddie, that is going to be it. 29 Bailu wrecking in the swimming pool section. We're now down to 8 cars to finish this race with 3 laps to go. The gap now between Maddie and Debe has dropped to nearly a second, even though Maddie is missing part of his front wing. 1.5 seconds the gap now, so I wonder if Debe has damage that we just can't see. There he is into the wall, so I would say he probably has front wing damage, which means both of these drivers are going to have to drop into the pits, potentially, in order to repair their front wings. I'm sure we'll see Maddie into the pits here. And we won't see Maddie into the pits. Maddie's going to continue to run. Same with Debe. They're both going to continue to run here to try to get going, even though Debe has dropped the gap down to nearly 3 seconds. Tazo on lap 38 of 39, running up the hill for the next to last time. And you can see the rain is coming down really hard from this perspective. So I almost wonder if we had more drivers, if we would have seen some people switching to wets and trying to pull the ultimate strategy. And Tazo running through the tunnel here down into the Novell chicane for the next to last time. All he's got to do is just bring it home. Just one clean lap. It doesn't have to be the fastest. It just needs to be clean here as he comes through Swimming Pool, possibly the most dangerous section of this Monaco track. He's coming around looking really, really good. Keeps it clean, and now he's going to dive into Rascas for the next to last time. Come around on the main straight, and just one lap Tazo needs to complete at this point to hold things. His teammate now back 5.5 seconds back. So Jalajne just cruising at this point, knowing that he has the championship in order, in no rush, and having no issues at this point with trying to finish the race. So just cruising and relaxing as they go through here. Tazo to Jalajne to Jack. All the gaps are so wide at this point with only 8 drivers left that they've all just settled in and they're just running their own races at this point. For Tazo, that means trying to secure his position here in P2 against Jack, who is P3 in the Drivers' Championship, and really, really trying to hold on to it. Dormati with another 3-second penalty. Debe into the pits here on the next to last lap coming out. I don't know if he's serving a penalty or what that was. He's on a fresh set of intermediates though. So a good assumption is a penalty in a front wing. And as they run through here, Jalajne is dropping back more, as I believe he's trying to give his teammate the win and make sure he's not within a penalty range. And as Tazo comes through the swimming pool section for the last time, Mercedes domination has continued all season through FRL, and I was hoping that Monaco would be different. All of the drivers were ready to challenge Monaco. Mr. Monaco and King Monaco were ready to challenge. Both of them, unfortunately, DNFing through the race here. And as Tazo comes around the final corner, he is going to set Mercedes up at the top step of the podium again. So Tazo wins the Monaco Grand Prix, and as we watch here, Jalajne is going to come around here, and Jalajne will make it a 1-2 for Mercedes here in FRL. Jack is going to come out of Rascas for the last time, and Jack is going to bring it through and put on a P3 here. Capo will come across here. Capo's already crossed the line for P4. 5, 6 is crossed. Debe in P7, who is just now starting the third sector, and then Dormati in P8, who is just now going down the tunnel. So, for Mercedes, it's been a constant 1-2 and a constant string of podium finishes and top places. Only 2 times out of all the races Mercedes has been in have they finished outside of the podium, and that was Tazo with 2 P6 finishes. There's a few DNFs between them, and of course Jalajne did not race last week, but Mercedes has dominated so much all season. The gap and the constructors so wide that it is safe to say Mercedes has won both drivers and constructors at this point. So, Mercedes at the start of the season saying they're going to sign 2 rookies, signing 2 FRL rookies, and what do you know, 2 of the best rookies they could have signed. Jalajne and Tazo both securing, Jalajne on the Drivers' Championship and Tazo and Jalajne securing the Constructors' Championship for Mercedes here in Season 4 Split 1. Tazo still has a little bit of a fight on his hands for the Drivers' Championship P2, but I believe he might have secured it here as well. So, Mercedes locking out 1-2 in the Drivers' Championship and locking out the Constructors' Championship, if my math is correct. So, the fireworks here in Monaco are definitely for Mercedes, locking out here Split 1 of FRL. We'll see how the rest of everything forms up. The season finale next week in Silverstone. Same time as always here on Twitch. Season finale coming at you next week. My name is Brad. It's been nice to commentate here at Monaco and reflect on my time here with FRL. Monaco was my first track I commentated, and now here I am. Can't wait to be back next week to round out Season 4 here with you.